And besides, I can spot a commandment breaker from like a mile away.
Gen Wars. Welcome to Gen Wars, the generational podcast pitting the Gen Xers against the Millennials. I'm your host, Nick, and with us as always is Cam, Katherine, and Steven. Cam and myself are representing Gen X, and Steven and Katherine are representing the Millennials. How is everyone doing today?
Excellent.
Very good.
Okay. Steven?
I'm doing okay. There's a lot going on in my life, but, I'm here on Gen Wars, where everybody should be.
I thought you were just pulling a silent Bob, just not talking the entire episode.
That would be funny. Damn it! God, I could have done that. Are you kidding me?
It's the perfect episode to do it.
It would have been a lot of nodding. You gotta use your hands.
And you gotta go get a cigarette and wheeled around.
Nice.
Well, in honor of the 25th anniversary and re-release, we are reviewing 1999's Dogma. Directed by Kevin Smith, starring Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Linda Fiorentino, Alan Rickman, Salma Hayek, George Carlin, Jason Lee, Chris Rock, Jason Muse, Kevin Smith, Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, and Alanis Morissette.
And Professor Snape.
That's
yeah.
Alan
And Batman.
That's out.
They're free to call him.
Oh, we're just going by their other character names? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
The guy that gets slapped by Will Smith.
I was literally like, Batman? What?
Yeah, Batman.
Oh, yeah.
He was Batman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Supporting
point in
face
time,
literacy.
Steven knows things. He's healed.
Have I seen any of those movies?
No.
No.
But that was going to be my first question. I know that
Shame
we had
on
an
you.
issue with your face blindness in Tombstone that everyone pretty much looked the same. It was a bunch of trench coats or long coats with cowboy hats and mustaches. Everyone here has a different look and ethnicities and things. So does that help out at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Diversity is
Okay,
good.
All right, there you go.
It helps me.
The next step is to have a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is."
I got to give it to Amazon Prime. Like, I can at any moment scroll up
There
and
you
just
go.
they're all there, and I can see who they are.
Oh, excellent. Good. I'm glad
Except this
we've
one's not on Amazon Prime.
moved
Not
past
yet.
this a little bit.
Remind me, I have a story about procuring such a film as this.
Oh.
Yes. All right, Katherine, do you want to give us some budgetary things and any other fun stuff you found out about this movie?
Sure. There wasn't a whole lot on this film. It was a low-budget film, obviously. It's $10 million.
Yes.
Put that in perspective, an average budget was $76 million in 1999, and Godzilla Minus One was $15 million, and that was just made in the last year. So, think about that. And
Wow. Is there a deflation number on that then?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird. That's a weird concept.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was this through Miramax still? Yeah, I mean, it was through Miramax. I mean, it was
through Miramax, but Disney owned it at first.
Afterwards, Disney bought it. It was a straight Miramax film. No, you're saying that?
No. So Disney. Okay, so we'll get back into this a little bit later, but Miramax had bought. No, sorry, Disney owned Miramax at the time. And so Harvey made the movie or the Weinsteins made the movie, and then Disney went, no, we don't want to release this. Like, that's not, and that's when the Weinsteins got the movie, or Harvey got the movie. I don't know which one it was under. But so it was under Disney at that time.
It wasn't in brand for Disney.
No.
Yeah, whether they were just because
A lot of it's on brand for Harvey, though.
Shout out to my shit goblins.
Oh man! All right, Catherine, you want to go finish with your budgetary stuff?
Can do. Domestic opening was about 8.6 million, and then domestically it got about 30.6 million. Internationally was rather small, with only like 776,000. Yeah, 776,000. So
Really? 'Cause
worldwide.
I found
Not
okay.
big in the
That number.
worldwide Catholic community, eh? Shocker.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where that? Okay, so that's where that 31 million that I got worldwide came in when you combine them all
31.
together.
Yeah.
It did what it was supposed to, though.
Oh yeah, that's a good turn, right?
Yeah.
Indeed. Awards. It didn't win any awards, but it was nominated for some couple of interesting ones. A lot of it was for best performance by an actor with Alan Rickman for Satellite Award, as well as best original song for Still. I assume Alanis Morissette sang that. That was the credits song.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's God, right?
Yes.
Correct. You ought to know.
I think that one went.
Isn't
over
it
his head.
ironic?
Did
Don't
you
you
I
think?
get that one.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
My wife put a whole bunch of songs in front of me. It's like, I know some of these songs for once. She sings songs. That's awesome. And she was mute in the movie, which is ironic.
Don't you think?
It is. Yeah. Yay for your wife for educating you. Yay.
Cut it out.
I didn't know that song was about him, and it blew my mind.
Me personally?
No.
Oh, not me.
Dave Coulier of Full House fame.
Yeah. But you're talking about a song that he doesn't know.
Or a
that he
show.
should.
Or a show
I
that,
don't-
He
or a
oughta.
show that he doesn't know either.
Yeah. We'll hit play after this.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
A post
Okay.
show fill in of Steven's for all the stuff that,
That,
Steven
like-
doesn't know.
It should actually be like the show credits. Is like we've got to throw that in.
Just us.
I feel like this
telling
is like a good Patreon opportunity, like
Yeah.
where everybody just gets to bully me on things that I haven't seen before, then berate me for not seeing it. I feel like people
Oh my
should.
God.
Yeah, I might as well make some. I mean, we do it all the time, so I might as well make some money off of it,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Content.
So yes, God. Sorry, we
You derailed.
jumped off. Yeah, we jumped it off.
It's okay. Anyway, some interesting ones that it was nominated for was a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress with Salma Hayek, and then Stinker Award for musicians who shouldn't be acting for Alanis Morissette.
Wow. That's rude.
Yeah, like that is rude, especially since she has zero speaking lines in
I know.
the
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah, she did
It's just
fine.
her.
What the hell?
Yeah. No. I
I
mean,
know.
like, I love that it was Alanis Morissette, especially by that time. I
Absolutely.
forget when she broke on the 90s scene, but I feel like it was super early, like 92-ish.
92 or 93.
Yeah,
Jack.
somewhere around there. So
I'm sitting
like,
in my booster seat. It's blaring on the radio at this point. So.
Yes, yes. So some time
Baby
had
Steven.
passed.
Baby Stephen,
Since-
he's sitting back in the Mercury Sable listening to.
Oh, 90. 91.
Listening to
was her
91.
first
listening to
album.
Jagged
Good year.
Little Pill.
Good year, 91.
When did
Second
Jagged
album in
Little Pill come out?
92.
Okay, it was
Oh,
probably
this
92 then.
92, yeah, because that album was just called Alanis.
So we like that album was huge in the early 90s. A lot had happened.
really was.
Grunge happened. Kurt Cobain died. We've
Oh.
moved on so much by the time we got to 99 that when she became God, it was kind of a nice surprise.
Jagged Little Pill is in 95, sorry.
Okay, then less time, same things. All those things happened. And then we got Alanis Morissette. My bad.
Yeah. I think it was a perfect casting. I have zero problems with that. And it was in 99, so I mean the internet was starting to become a thing. I don't remember ever hearing that she was in the movie.
Shoot.com.
Moviepoopshoot.com.
Moviepoopshoot.com.
Steven doesn't get that one yet. We'll watch that one at some point.
Yeah, it was all just becoming a thing.
But I don't remember.
So is this like Tobey Maguire showing up in Spider-Man level, kind of like, oh, everybody's popping off, or like Minecraft Steve Jack Black saying I am Steve level of popping off?
What I was trying to kind of glean from Cam is that, like, I don't remember ever hearing, like, the movie was coming out, but I don't remember being like, oh, the word is that Alanis Morissette's in the movie as God. Like,
yeah,
we just showed up, and then all of a sudden she popped through the door, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that, exactly. That level of that, because, you know, everyone wasn't reporting on every film news story, ad nauseum.
Oh, so Bruce Willis showing up in the Lego Movie 2, probably level.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Was Bruce Willis in the Lego Movie 2?
According to moviepoopshoot.com/Steven.
Or like maybe Danny DeVito and Beetlejuice.
I haven't seen Beetle.
Yeah. That was a good one.
I also
like that.
haven't seen the Bruce Willis movie that they were making a parody of, like that Nick
Cop
is a
Out?
big... No, the where he's in the vent.
Oh my God.
Die Hard.
Die Hard,
Fucking
yeah.
shoot me. What the hell?
We'll put that on the list. We'll get that going. Catherine just turns hood up, turns around. She's
You made
out.
like a Christmas ornament. I have the Christmas ornament about like the Die Hard movie. Never
It's
seen
a
it.
great Christmas ornament. We actually used it on Tuesday on the refrigerator. So
Oh, there's a link to that video. It showed up. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a link to that video.
Yeah, I have the
up
ornament.
there.
Now my sister made me one too, and I always make sure to put a light in it when I'm putting it on the tree, so you can like see it. Yeah.
Steven, I know you had some issues identifying. You had some questions. You had some questions that you didn't want to address prior
Yes.
to it until we get here. So,
all right.
shoot.
Intrigued.
Question number one.
Before Steven shoots,
Oof.
Yep.
we didn't read a synopsis of this film.
Yeah, what's this movie about?
Yes. Sorry. Read the synopsis, please. Please.
Future Nick. Go back to past Nick and help him out.
Cut it here. Just move it to this point over here.
Yeah.
We're just going to be in different frames real quick.
It's okay. As long as we hit the points before we get to the final
Hard
scores, I
cuts
think
are
we can.
fine. Hard cuts are great. Love them.
Okay. 2 fallen angels were ejected from paradise and find themselves banned in Wisconsin. They are now headed for New Jersey, where they can find a loophole that can get them back into heaven. The only catch is that it will destroy humanity, and a group bands together to stop them.
All right. I like that.
Solid. All right, Steven.
All right.
Accurately
Now-
represents it.
Back to the original question.
Question number 1. Welcome back. Question times with Steven. Why isn't...
We should. Hold on. I think we're going to start making this a segment. Question times with Steven.
It's question time.
/ questions.
He hasn't
Question
seen shit.
time,
It's
Steven. Steven time with questions. Yeah.
Okay. So, Jay and Silent Bob. Recurring
Yes.
characters, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
This is my first movie with them in it. Just
Of course.
For context.
This is like their third or fourth appearance by the time we get here. This is the fourth appearance by the time we get here.
Why are they not the main
And-
characters?
They're never made.
They get their
That's not
own
true.
movie in the next one.
I heard that's
Yes.
bad.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
It's fun.
It is a lot of fun in the same culty way that this is, because they all kind of take place within the Kevin Smith universe, and a lot of these characters wind up playing themselves or
It's very
family
meta.
members of others. Yeah, it's very meta, but they all kind of connect. So we're kind of deep in the quadrilogy. I don't even know what it is at this point.
Okay, yeah.
There's a
So
lot.
I'm coming in really confused. It feels a lot like what I would should have taken away with Tommy Boy as well. Like the actors are just playing themselves, or like kind of having fun making this. Is this in the same realm, or am I tripping?
No, like they're definitely characters.
Okay.
And while like their input into this movie and getting them there is, critical to the story, like they're not the main focus on it. Yeah. But they've kind of played supporting cast in a lot of the other films in there, so they're their own comic relief. They're the Abbott and Costello vibe of it.
The Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, the Cheech and Chong.
All right, before we, you don't. You're again throwing things at Steven he doesn't know.
Okay, sorry.
So Steven, to give you a brief synopsis of this, he made his first movie, Clerks, which Kevin Smith made with his own money on credit, put it on credit cards. Mm-hmm. He was going to play. He wrote himself as Randall. He was going to play Randall because he didn't have an actor to play, and he just ended up finding somebody else to play main character.
Randall.
That was better than he could do it. So then he put himself as one of we'll call them the tertiary, the supporting cast. They're the weed dealers that sit outside the convenience store. And so they're just kind of
being Silent
as
Bob.
The stories play. Jay and Silent Bob are the two weed dealers that are sitting outside.
Wait, who's Kevin Smith?
Store.
Silent Bob.
Silent Bob.
Silent
Okay.
Bob.
Got that.
Okay.
Face blind. Come
got
on,
him.
help me. Help me.
I'm
We
I'm
support
sorry
your
to
face
all of our
blindness.
watchers that are probably screaming at the screen right now.
If you suffer from face blindness too, please contact
The
the
hotline.
link down below. At
Join our
Funky.store.
Patreon.
The Funky
Funky.store.
Store, where we half the funds from Funky Store goes to treating face blindness. Profits, half the profits.
Oh my, got me right in the heart.
In the arms of an angel.
Carry on.
All right, no more. You're gonna get us demonetized. Or,
1 in 500 people also suffer from face blindness.
But yeah, so they are the weed dealers. Jay and Silent Bob are the two weed dealers that sit outside the thing and just play those characters. Kevin Smith, he even said it. I watched an interview. He's like, I talk the most out of anybody other than Jay. So he said, they're best friends in real life. And so he was like, I need to put this guy in a movie, but I don't need to talk. I talk too much already. So he just made himself Silent Bob, and we'll throw in one-liners here and there to, tag on a joke or, push the story a little bit.
It really adds emphasis when that's the only line in the movie.
But they're not the stoners from the Lost Boys, right?
The Lost Boys, the fuck?
The parents.
Did you hurt yourself with that stretch?
It's not all in the same world. I'm confused. You're showing me a lot of movies.
No, this is called
You're like Charlie Day trying to connect all these.
It could all work together. I could just make them fit. We got Russell Crowe.
No, this is called the View
Kurt
Askew
Russell,
universe.
Russell Crowe.
View Askew universe. There we go.
The View Askew universe, and so there's Clerks, Chasing Amy, Mallrats, then Dogma, and then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and then
Clerks 2.
Clerks 2,
Clerks
Jay
2
and
so
Silent
good.
Bob reboot. They're doing a Mallrats 2 coming up.
And Disney didn't want to buy this?
Wait, say that
Huh?
again?
And Disney didn't want this? We're like 8 films in at this point.
No,
Oh,
this is
so-
four films in by the
Yeah,
time we
this
get
is
here.
only 4 films in. So when Disney had this movie under their umbrella, under Miramax's, under Miramax, they didn't want to release it because of the heavy Catholic and Jesus and all of they were like, we don't want anything to do with this. Like, you made this movie, we don't want to deal with it because we don't need the flack. Now, there was a precedent that was set apparently before this with the movie Kids, because Harvey did the same exact thing with Kids. Disney said, don't make the movie.
was rough.
Yeah, Harvey went and made the movie, and Disney went, buy it from us because we don't want anything to do with it. So
Harvey is a sloppy seconds guy with Disney?
Well,
I
just
mean, is that
because
kind
they
of on
bought,
brand for him?
It kind of is. And with kids,
they
too?
bought
Yikes.
Miramax.
Yike. Yeah.
So once they got to this movie, Disney was like, we don't want this. We don't want to release this movie. So they gave it. Well, Kevin Smith claims that they didn't sell it to Harvey, that they gave it to him because there's no paper trail for this movie. And so just about a year ago, apparently Harvey called him prior to all of the shit coming out.
Isn't he still in jail?
No, this was just before this happened.
Yeah.
He called
That's his
him-
last call. Like, we gotta
he called
save
him-
Dogma.
He was trying
I'm
to
going
find,
down. You gotta
he
take
ended-
Dogma out of this. I don't want to.
Kevin Smith.
He was trying to figure out who were the good people and the bad people in his life, who ratted him out. And when Kevin Smith was like, yeah, I want to do something with the movie, that was it. And then 6 days later, all the news came out that he was doing bad things. And so the movie kind of, that whole like, hey, you want to do something with Dogma, disappeared for about a year. And during that time, Kevin Smith was writing letters to Harvey and or his attorneys to see if he could get the movie back. He offered him he wrote 3 letters, $250,000, $500,000, and $1 million. I think the $1 million might have been backed by Ben and Matt at that time. And their attorneys, Harvey's attorneys were like, nope, that's too little. Goodbye. Samuel, hold on, I wrote it all down because I wanted to make sure I got this right. Samuel Goldwyn Films reached out and said that they could get the movie from Harvey, but some profits would eventually trickle back to Harvey if they did anything with it. And Kevin was like, I want nothing to do with that. I don't want him to have any more money from this movie. And then just recently, within the past 4 or 5 months, a venture capitalist company called him because they bought what they call a tranche of movies from Harvey's personal collection.
Yep. The Nazi vault.
Because he need pretty much to pay most likely to pay his legal fees. They bought in that was a bunch of kung fu movies, Kids, the Michael Moore documentary Fahrenheit 9/11, and Dogma. Apparently they sold off Kids. Some other company bought it off them. And like, these people aren't a movie company. They were just a venture capitalist that they just were buying lots of stuff. Yeah. And so they were like, why is Ben Affleck in this movie? And they called Kevin Smith and they were like, hey, do you want to do something with this? And so he jumped on it. And this is how we're getting. I don't know if they're giving it to him or they're, I think he said.
Not for free.
No.
I think he's involved in touring it. He's involved in re-releasing it. He's doing everything with them. I'm assuming he's either getting a portion of it. I mean, this venture capitalist company still owns it. So they're not giving it to him, and I don't think he's buying it from them.
Yes, Steven, go ahead.
I don't like Hollywood. It's gross and yucky, and everything you've told me has made me offended.
Thank you for sharing with the class.
Would you please put the
Disclaimer.
curtain back and get back to your seat? Thank you.
Ownership is so yucky. People in Hollywood, yuck. Gross. Don't like you.
Yeah. Well,
Don't
this
like
venture
you.
capitalist company, the venture capitalist company wasn't in Hollywood. They were just people who have money that were just buying stuff.
Also eat the rich.
And they didn't know what they had. That's the other thing. They didn't know what they bought. They just bought a bunch of movies.
They bought something from
Yeah.
Harvey, so...
But Harvey he was grabbing stuff from, he had so many kung fu movies and was holding on to them and wasn't releasing them. Because there was a ton of stuff that I knew about that I couldn't see because he grabbed and held on to the rights to.
He was like the collector from the Toy Story. Like he was just going and
Guardians of the
grabbing-
Galaxy?
And Guardians of
Yeah,
Galaxy,
yeah, the
too.
Guardians.
All that yucky.
He wasn't doing anything with it. And like honestly, aside from just his absolute evilness on it, like from his business side, he sucks too. Like he wouldn't talk to him. You've got clear people that want this to want to go make money, and you're not doing anything with it. You're just holding it for, I don't know. Guy's horrible.
And besides, I can spot a commandment breaker from like a mile away.
All right, we're back.
Okay, we're back. Okay, fine.
All right, so Steven didn't like a lot of the humor in the movie.
Yeah.
It was very it's very 90s humor. It is it's coming out of the 90s, and that's, Jay and Tyler, or at least Jay, is just a dirtbag, whatever you want to call him.
Depraved.
Yeah.
That's his character.
But that's his character, exactly. You're just like, ugh.
He comes from a different time.
Yeah, very much different.
Yeah.
I also
It's a
didn't
period
like the
piece.
poop demon, but that goes into a different facet of like things that I don't like. It's kind of with vomiting and poop. Funny is not hee hee to me. It's just kind of
You
like,
don't like Golgothans? What? I had to go look it up. So it's been this long that I've just assumed that there was probably something in some lore somewhere that somebody wrote about that there was a shit demon. There isn't a shit demon. This was a Kevin Smith.
yeah. I don't like it's
So funny.
I don't like the shit
And I was
demon.
like, all right.
It was a cool effect. It was cool.
Yeah.
Like the practical effect part of me is like, yeah, cool. The shit part of it is just like, I think it's too visceral for me. Like I was there in the bar. It's like,
Especially when they dove over the bar and it like the cannon shot behind them and it just hit the wall. And I was like,
I'm going green right
When
here.
the shit hits the mirror.
I'm a sympathy
Oh, you
puker
mean
too, and just like,
Well, being a
Loved
father
it.
of 3, I'm sure you have your own experience.
yeah,
with
it's too
poop.
real for me. This isn't funny. This is fucking real life. Like, it ain't a joke.
oh man.
I'll show you a shit demon. Like,
I like that
Also
they knocked out the odors.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, stupid jokes like that knocks out odors, tough odors.
it was funny. That was a good one. I like that. Like, was
the
it
only reason it was
situational
there.
comedy? Yeah.
It was the setup. It was the setup to the joke. And you know that, like, when they used that, they were smoking weed one night at the comic book store and, like, saw that because Brian or someone farted like a mammoth, and they became a joke. Like, it's easy enough. And they're like, well, how would we do that? It was like, shit demons.
Even at that point, Kevin Smith wasn't smoking weed, so I mean, he was
No.
around them, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's culture.
Just going
also-
back into that.
Smoking inside.
Oh, yeah.
There's,
Yeah, very
I miss-
90s. Oh, yeah.
I miss that.
You,
Even though I don't smoke anymore, that was I smoked my fair pack of cigarettes indoors. in establishments and houses.
with Darcy. Oh, the good times we used to
breakfast platter and some coffee.
Oh man!
sometimes
yeah,
we
did
needed
that
more
voice
than
at
3
our
packs.
old job, too.
Please make him stop. It's getting uncomfortable.
No, they did make me stop wearing the elf attire during Christmas season and playing Christmas carols all over the speakers.
It had little jingle bells on it, so he would just walk around doing this all day.
I like
Yeah,
Christmas.
for good reason. I would beat you with candy canes.
I was
They
just gonna say,
tried.
punch you.
I was faster than them.
My favorite was when our manager called you a little boy, and you're like, "I'm a man." She called you. So then the nickname of Mr. Boy was born.
Mr. Boy.
Mr. Boy.
Mr. Boy.
Right.
I'm a man.
Does Mr. Boy have any more questions that need answering? Or?
Yeah, we're here for you. The
About the movie or any other
the
things.
X answer corner.
The main actress. Anything else in her inventory? Like, was she?
Men in Black.
Linda Fiorentino.
She was in Men in Black. Was she? She was the love interest in Men in Black 1.
She was Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. Choose Will Smith.
I think it's funny that you asked this question,
Face blindness.
we ultimately know the answer is you don't know any of the movies that I'm about to throw at you.
I've seen Men in Black. I love Men in Black. That's right up my
Okay.
alley. I've seen Men in Black. Kidding
Yeah,
me?
but
Why
that-
wouldn't I have seen that? Like,
But this poor woman's
I don't
face
know,
blindness is all over Men in Black, and Steven can't see it.
they didn't bring her back for Men in Black 2. What was she doing?
Oh,
Is she
Boy.
dead?
She's
She's
Mr.
alive,
Boy.
right?
She stopped.
she is still alive.
Oh, okay. No,
She's
but
still alive.
I would've
yeah.
felt shitty.
She stopped acting. She
I'm not
stopped
dead
acting in
yet.
2009. I'm not dead yet.
I'm very much alive.
I don't know. I've never really looked into why she left acting or why she, fell out of love for it. I'm assuming, or maybe she just made her bag and was like, "I'm out. I'm gonna go make a family and
Respectable.
live my life."
Okay. Questions with Steven is over. You made it to the end.
We gotta have an intro and outro jingle.
Now to our regularly scheduled program.
regularly scheduled program. Oh, isn't the Archdemon? Isn't he the voice of Syndrome?
He might be.
Did I do
Let's
it
fact
again?
check.
Fact check.
Fact check.
Jason
It's
Lee.
not Face Brian. It's Jonathan Lee.
No, it's Jason Lee.
Oh, I always get it mixed up. My bad.
It's not just me. Everybody bullies me, even though everybody does it.
Yes, in the Incredibles.
I just got the
yes.
name wrong.
Yeah.
That's not face
is-
blindness. That's just voice recognition.
I can do it.
He can do it.
We'll
There's
just call you
this also
Siri.
falls into the I put this down under we had talked about this during Tommy Boy, but the zaniness of it.
Yeah.
That like the 90s just complete like ridiculousness and absurdity of things. I love that. The boardroom scene is not very zany, but it's
It's quippy.
It's
quippy,
actually I
yes.
like the boardroom scene was
Yeah.
probably one of the
It's like,
better.
You led an excellent life. Good job.
Yeah.
And Ben's still giving him shit when he's all done with it too, and he was like, "But I am about this" or something like that. I am about this. I don't know. It's so funny.
oh, when he walked back in the
Yeah,
room.
when he walked back in, he's like, "I can't believe in this. What does that mean?" That really is the East Coast vibe of, even though those guys are from Wisconsin, but on the writing style of constantly giving each other shit and all
they're both-
opportunities.
They're both born in Boston. Matt,
And the story.
The characters are, the angels were sent to
oh.
Wisconsin, but I mean, like,
Gotcha.
the writing style is obviously Kevin, but East Coast of they're still very much like the best of friends bickering at each other. It's great.
Oh yeah. When did I'm looking for it right now. The movie that made them super
Good Will
famous.
Hunting?
Thank you. Good Will Hunting. When did that come out?
97 maybe.
Okay, so it was just before this. This was
Yeah, like I feel like
97. You're right.
Ben was doing a favor for Kevin on coming back on this, because like he was in Chasing Amy before they had done all wasn't
Mallrats.
he, and Mallrats, before he got into higher paying roles and ultimately being Batman and that stuff. So yeah, I think them coming back after the Good Will Hunting popularity was also like some star power draw into the movie.
And then they were also in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Reprising their roles as the characters from
angels?
Good Will Hunting. No, as
No.
as their characters from Good Will Hunting. It's all about
Oh.
making a movie. I ran this story premise down like 2 weeks ago with you when we picked this movie, and You don't.
Yeah, it didn't mean anything to me. Well, I mean, you can run the premise. It's a movie about making a movie. I remember. But
If you suffer from conversational blindness, please click the link below.
I remember. I can't tie the people. Like it's just like there's no link there. I can't like these actors mean nothing to me.
Do you find yourself fading out when other people are talking?
I was watching Steven's face. I was like, you brought up Good Will Hunting, and Steven's face just glazed over.
I have Good Will Hunting on VHS somewhere back here.
Oh my god!
I haven't watched it, but it's there.
You should watch it. It's a fantastic movie.
I know, but it'll make me
nothing
sad.
but time on your side here.
Isn't it a sad movie?
How do you like them apples?
I mean, I guess like there's there's ups and downs in all of it. It is a drama overall.
Does it have Robin Williams in it?
It does, in a very dramatic role.
I like Robin Williams. I should watch that
more if you watch it.
Put it on the wheel.
Watch it.
Put it on the wheel. I only have time to watch the movies for this show because I do it for y'all.
But it is also absurd to like to such a high degree. This movie is absurd.
Are we talking about a different movie?
Good Will or Dog?
Like Good Will Hunting. I mean, Matt Damon wrote the movie, so
I think
it's just like,
both of them penned that.
Yeah, he's the greatest character ever written ever, and he was played by Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I mean, the two of them.
Steven still doesn't get it.
The two of them in this movie. Yeah, we should watch Team America World Police.
Oh God.
That should be our 4th of July mix. Is the 4th, yeah. Watching the Team America Police show.
But Independence Day, that feels like the right movie for that.
We've already decided on a movie.
Well, we're watching.
Yeah,
spoilers.
Kind of saw Independence Day on 4th of July in the
wasn't
theater
gonna say
when it
it.
released.
Also, Nick can just cut it.
Yeah. I'll blur my mouth. So
just edit it. Just edit it, Nick. Just like do that fucking
Just add
easy
like
shit
a little
that you do.
just add a little dolphin noise over it.
That exact one. Use that one.
Steven, give me the noise, the White Lotus noise that we were talking about.
Oh god.
All right, do we want to get into scores here?
We really went off track on this one.
Yeah, I know. There's so much I wanted to talk
have-
about.
We can still talk about
Does
that.
anyone have anything else that they would like to talk about before we go into scores? Since we're off making sound effects now.
Fun fact is Alan Rickman really wanted to be in this movie.
He did a great job.
I think he went
love
to
Alan
Kevin
Rickman.
Smith and was like, I'm a big fan of Chasing Amy. I want to be Metatron.
Okay. I did
All
not
right.
know that. That's pretty awesome.
How do we feel about
And-
the wing effects on the angels?
I like the
So
wing
the-
effects.
The practical wings are great. I don't mind them at all. The digital ones they show their age a bit, but
The flying ones, I want to just erase that scene entirely. I don't need to know that he's up there.
Yeah.
I hate that scene, and I'm actually dogging points on production because of it, because I feel you could have conveyed the message without him showing a scene of like poorly animated, like unless you were gonna go so badly animated that you do like some Monty Python style stuff.
They basically dropped him on the lines right there. That was enough. That was like on par.
Yeah. I mean, people
He
are dropping
flew
from
back
the
and
sky.
forth.
It's pretty evident there's a goddamn angel up there dropping people. I don't need to look up. So yeah, that was a poor decision point on their part.
Sorry, Katherine. That was a big point I wanted to bring up like 20 minutes ago in this conversation.
We interrupted you like 10 times, so it's okay.
it's all good.
Steven
It's
has a
all good.
question? No.
You're a fucking idiot, and you should have known that already. Huh?
We were just
Steven-
getting you back for interrupting our intro.
Steven, do you know who George Carlin is?
Yeah, he was the priest. He's a comedian.
He was the yes.
Do you know who he
yes.
is outside of being the priest?
He's a
Well,
comedian.
He's
said comedian.
he's anger.
Yeah, he hit it.
He's a comedian, right? Not an actor. He's a comedian.
He is a
by trade.
comedian, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's Lewis Black.
He's the Reading Rainbow guy, right? Or
No, he's not. You lied to
he's
me.
not Anchor.
the train. No, the train was
Yes,
what was the
Thomas.
train thing? It was Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas
he was
the Tank
the
Engine?
original. He was the original Thomas the Tank Engine guy before. Like it was before or
no,
after
he was-
Ringo Starr. Ringo Starr was one of them, but I feel like George Carlin was also the Thomas the Tank guy.
Fact
Tom-
check.
Not the voice of Thomas the
I'm,
Tank,
I'm
but
literally looking at
No.
Thomas.
Like
The-
they had
the-
they had the
he's the
conductor guy,
narrator.
like the live actor guy that would come in and
yes.
like
Yes.
George Carlin was in
Yeah.
Thomas the Tank.
Yeah, I mean, all the way up until
Wild.
2017.
the thing about tanks and
Roll the footage, Nick.
yeah.
Feature Nick. He's rolling the footage.
Yeah,
Is this
he's the
where he-
narrator voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas and Friends, Percy, Ghostly Tricks, Thomas and Friends, James Goes Buzz Buzz.
Isn't this where he like tested out the 7 words that you cannot say on TV?
yes
on children?
that like he did that but I feel like I feel like Ringo came in after George Carlin. Is that true?
Potentially,
Or was
but George came back to do it because he was doing it 2017, 2012, 2010, 2009.
I
so there
think
might
they
have been
just
a gap.
used his voice. When did he die?
Oh,
George Carlin's
Spoiler
dead?
alert. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yes.
I knew that was going to happen.
2008.
Who's the
Yeah,
other
How was he
So-
doing it in
comedian?
2017? Okay, so they just used.
they just reused his stuff.
Who's the other comedian that died that really upset Spaghetti Me? The guy that like always a cigar and he talked about coupons. Damn it.
George Burns.
No, that's not right.
He always had cigars.
Ron White. Did we
Ron
go over
I was
this
like, did
before?
Ron
White.
I was like, did Ron?
He's dead
White's
too.
dead.
Ron
Ron
White?
White's still alive.
No, he's still
did
alive.
the other day.
Oh my god, I got him confused. Oh my god. Okay. He's still alive,
I was like,
right?
pretty sure Ron White.
He got his life together. Like he stopped like smoking and drinking and lost weight, so he's still alive. Okay, good. There's hope for everyone.
It's like,
Yeah.
Ron
We're
White's still
alive.
alive. Oh, I'm so scared.
Yeah, he'll do okay for the last 3 years of his life here.
Yeah.
oh,
I forgot that George Carlin was the narrator voice. So when my nephew was little and watching at 2 years old, and I'm like, that's George Carlin. What the hell is going on?
I don't think I've seen it. Like I remember the old Thomas, but the new Thomas that doesn't.
No, he was the old Thomas
in
dude.
in the 90s.
Like,
oh my
that's what we're
god.
fucking talking
I thought you
about.
said 2000s.
They kept using his voice, but
kept
he's like
going.
the
When did he
OG
start?
From I
He
feel
started
like he was
Thomas-
even responsible for getting the show going. Also,
Narrator
Like-
voice 1994.
Oh shit! Yep, that's right. Okay,
That's-
well,
That's Thomas and the Friends. James Goes Buzz Buzz, and then from there on, there's
that's an
those
individual.
whole
Okay.
time.
Yep, he's the narrator. That's crazy.
I like how we went from Dogma to Thomas the Train. Just saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
They were
that's
they
the
were on a
View Askew
train.
universe.
We don't know if that was part of the Thomas universe. They were on a train.
It's true.
Who's to say?
Anyways,
Ask Kevin. I don't know.
I was curious if you knew who George was.
He's a
in this
comedian.
movie.
I've seen some
He
comedian
is a
stuff.
comedian. He's also in some other Kevin Smith movies too. So he reoccurs later.
He's
in
also
other
in-
roles.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure
Yeah.
and Bogus Journey.
I
We
don't
need to
know.
watch those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was my favorite Carlin appearance are those. But yes, so scoring.
Score.
Before we get into
Who
that,
would like- Yeah.
all right, Nick, you can cut that out.
Make more work for me.
I'll drink to that.
All right, who wants to go first?
No, I
Everyone
will.
jump at once.
I'll do it. Anyways, yes. So I think we're gonna find another movie that Cam likes here, but nostalgia 9 for me, super high. This is really peak Kevin Smith time. By the time we got here into the fourth installment, 99, there's a lot of good things going in this movie, and it was funny. I know it didn't quite make the success by the numbers, but I always watch this movie. I remember seeing it in the theaters, and I don't remember all of the hate and the hype around it. It's funny watching the documentaries and even seeing the opening credit on this, which is really a response to the level of protests that were going on when this movie was released. Something that I think you'll find funny too, Stephen, is that there's in some of the documentaries, Kevin Smith went out and protested with the people against the movie. Like, he just put himself into the crowd, and then they filmed it, and then they kind of like put that stuff in there. So it's funny, but yeah, they didn't.
That's funny.
For
so that
specifically
opening,
the Catholicism thing, like it was just that was it. Okay.
The Catholic
oh yeah,
the Catholic League had a big issue with this movie.
And like
yeah.
the pro-life people didn't. I thought that was a big point of like the.
No, I think it was all about the light in which the Catholic Church was portrayed in this movie, and all of the other themes that were surrounding it, aka shit monsters or drugs or violence and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was just like at the time where like we've got to protest filth and disgust, and it was a big thing. So I don't really remember that going on. I mean, probably because I'm 21 at the time and not really paying attention, but yeah, it was fun. The production on this, I said that I was gonna give some points down, but I'm going 8 on this. There's not a whole lot in the sets for this, but it's got a good cast. I like the story. I like the dialogue. I think by the time he got to this movie, there's a lot of more experience gained from him as well as a filmmaker. So I think it was a little more coherent. I do really like a lot of the things that he puts into the movies. Like, I don't know if you noticed the kids on the rollerblades, like those are demons. I know, but I thought it was kind of funny that one of them had a Hellboy hockey jersey.
I didn't notice that. Yeah.
That's the perfect amount of on the nose.
Yes, absolutely. So it was just like little things like that that I really appreciated. Also, as far as writing style is concerned, don't underestimate the staggering drawing power of the Garden State. Probably one of the best lines ever about New Jersey, and I love that Kevin Smith wrote it. I graduated from high school in New Jersey way back in the 90 whatever, and
I'm so sorry.
I know, but I do love the Garden State. It gets a bad rap because of a very small portion of it, but it's got a lot to offer. And yeah, you got to get there early if you're trying to get on a bus over to New Jersey, apparently. For Spirit and Intent, I do think that he hit the mark on this movie. I'm going 8 on this for a lot of the same reasons. I think he set out to make a satirical movie about religion and exposing, like, the whole thing's about a loophole in religion, and depending upon how closely you want to follow it or not follow it or interpret, allows a lot of possibilities, and he's just kind of exposing that. And you kind of see that satire with Matt Damon talking to the nun, basically just turning her out of her whole life. And it's funny, you kind of see her in the background in the airport. And Nick, this is what I was alluding
is that
to
what you were
early.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't see
when
it. I wasn't quite
that
sure.
whole dialogue when they're moving moving through the people mover, the nun's going bananas. She's at the bar, she's drinking, she's getting thrown out of the bar and everything. So it like, I thought that was funny, kind of see that. Mubi, the golden calf is all over this movie, not just in the boardroom scene. I don't know if you noticed that, but like in the airport, the two bros that are drinking right by a Mubi's, you know, they've got other kind of brand placement in there, but those are the kind of things that I do like. And I think also
in world.
Yes.
That'll come in important later for future episodes. But
she's walking out of the bar with a beer, and the waitress is trying to grab it.
It's just like, come back. The nun going.
I need to go back and watch that.
But that kind of goes into my next one for my rewatch score is 9, because I do think that there's a lot going on. I've been watching this movie since it came out. I still find things like that. Like, I didn't pick up on the nun things right away because I'm so focused on the dialogue that's going on. And from face value, it just kind of looks like background scene. But I want to let you know, like, Kevin Smith put a lot of thought into the shots that he's putting in there, not just the dialogue. I don't know if you noticed this too, Nick, but when Jason Lee pulls the Matt and Ben into the toy store.
Okay.
They're like there's the Frisbee, the Max Flight disc that we use for Can Jam is up on the toy wall over there.
No, I didn't notice that.
Old head alert! Oh my god, old head!
The Hosties cereal in the Cardinal's office. I thought that was funny. That he had his own kind of branded cereal back there. But anyways, there's a lot of things going on in the background to kind of pull back. Overall, I give it a 9. I love this movie from top to bottom. I think some of it gets a little awkward, but I like the story. I like pushing those kind of envelopes. I don't necessarily find myself to be a religious person, but I enjoyed the movie. I didn't take offense to it. Probably that's why. But I enjoyed the performances out of them. Even like Salma Hayek, I can understand why she got that Razzie Award on that. I mean, it was not the most riveting performance.
She delivered her lines.
She it felt like it was an episode of Saturday Night Live that she was reading off of cue cards, but whatever. Aside from that point, it's one of those cult films that I'll continue to go back to, much like Tommy Boy. I like it. It still is humorous, and it goes back to a period piece of time in the 90s.
You okay there, Steven?
I heard my activation code.
It's like your soul left your body for a second there.
Right, a period piece. Wait. How is it a period piece?
It's not.
It absolutely is. Hold on.
I believe about a 44 for an 88 if I hit those numbers right.
What was the last one?
9.
All right, let's math. Let's do some math together.
Quick maths.
43, 86. It was
Then yes.
98899.
Yes, sir. It was. I believe you.
Unless I mathed wrong, but
He has to
No.
make the graphics, so he'll
If we
figure it
have
out.
the technology.
yeah, 86%.
Okay, 86. There we go.
Boom.
A movie Cam likes.
The movie Cam likes.
It's
Nailed
right
it.
there next to Scrooged.
Wow. Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of that tracks, actually. You're a very consistent person.
Was Groundhog
All
Day
right.
next to that? I can't remember.
It should be. I love Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it was. I think it
Okay.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go back and
We
look
got
at
that
Cam's
sweet
scores.
spot kind of identified here.
Yeah. We're right on the
You got a
curve.
niche there.
I like it.
All right, let's hear from one of the millennials. Which
Catherine?
one of y'all want to go?
Oh, please.
I'll go. I'll go.
Finally, a good opinion.
A good opinion?
Yeah, I know. One without questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
A guy can't ask questions now.
You can ask questions, but there are dumb ones. Nostalgia and bias. I gave it a 7. I was pretty excited to see this film. I haven't visited it in a long time. I had to dust off that DVD, to be honest. I had to dig that out. Yeah. Oof.
I love that you have the DVD to dust out, though.
Yeah, I do.
I do. Yeah, I got that. I got one too. We got
we just talked about, well, you didn't just talk about it, but there's a small window when this movie was available to get on DVD.
Oh, it's so the re-release that they're doing a steelbook for it, Catherine.
No VHS.
I need to get it.
VHS where?
Yeah. No
Just make your
VHS.
own.
No VHS. It's going 4K.
I mean, he could. I could see him putting this on VHS, but he said he
I
was doing a
missed-
steelbook.
Romulus did it. Like,
It's a possibility.
Steven, that seems like an untapped thing you can jump into there.
Yeah.
oh, this.
Start making your own VHSs.
Oh yeah, I want to
What
make.
is that?
Okay, this is my story. So you had the DVD, right? I did not have a DVD, so I
Yes.
procured a file in an appropriate
Jesus.
way that was okay. It took me forever to get it on my TV. This is my whole rant that I keyed up at the beginning, is that
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a flash drive. I had to pull a 30 gigabyte micro SD card out of a random GoPro that I had laying around my house. I put it on my computer. It didn't work because it said it's an old file format, and I was like, that's weird. Apparently it was formatted in normal FAT and not exFAT. And though I had to put it on my Mac, put it in exFAT, download it onto the wireless because I don't have that hooked up to the Ethernet, put it onto the old micro SD card, put it in a converter, put it on my
Fucking call it in
PlayStation 5,
planes.
and I couldn't even watch it on my PlayStation 5 because apparently if you don't look at your media gallery recently enough, you have to go a whole roundabout way to get your media gallery to be on your home screen, and then I could play it. And it took me 4 hours to watch this fucking film. Dumb.
Another satisfied customer.
Because I didn't have a DVD, and that's why physical media is so important. So make sure that you maintain your physical media collection.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
And that's Dad at the movies. Thanks, Dad, for coming to the movies. Every week we try to get Dad to watch a movie, and he fumbles around with technology for 4 hours.
Was it not ripped on YouTube or something?
I didn't
was.
go
It
that.
was.
It is on
I
YouTube.
didn't go that
It
route. I'm
is.
sorry. I apologize.
It is. It has been for a while because it's been out of circulation on
Yeah.
DVD.
I had the opportunity. I found it at a resale shop for $13 on Blu-ray, and I didn't buy it.
Oh,
Ooh,
foolish.
the one that got away.
Really, seriously. That was I don't know, 8 years ago, and I'm still kicking myself on that one.
I won't let you live that one down.
I found the combo pack of 28 days and 28 weeks later Blu-ray for $4, and that's a banger.
In the
as
bathroom
well.
at Walmart?
Goodwill.
Oh,
Close enough. Close enough.
Apparently, Walmart is also known as Wally World, which I didn't know was the same franchise till recently.
wow.
I thought
you-
you were fucking with me.
Nope.
Do you know what Wally World is before it gets associated with Walmart?
He
And
does- he doesn't.
We'll start there. No. So there's this little movie called National Lampoon's Vacation, and their whole movie was taking the family trip in the car to Wally World. Spoiler, it was closed. And that was the whole movie. So anyways,
Is there a Christmas version of that?
that happened a few films later. They had to go to Europe first, and then after that, they came back and had a Christmas show. But before
And
they
then
had
they
a
did
Christmas
Vegas.
show, they had a vacation, and they went to Wally World, and it's about the family outing that took place there. So
A Christmas
when
Story?
when you fast forward into the world that Walmart exists everywhere, it has been deemed Wally World from the wall part. and the hijinks of National Lampoons. When you kind of like mash those two together, if you've ever visited a Walmart, it is
Never.
wild at any hour, whether it's the people that work there or the people that shop there.
The more you know.
Education with Steven.
I'm being educated.
There's a
Do
lot
you
of.
have
I've
brand
got
blindness? If so, click the link down below.
Brand blight.
I like
lot
how
of
this
brand
whole
things going
episode
on
we're just
recently.
like throwing shit at Steven.
Stage left,
brand
kid.
troubles. Yeah.
So
All right,
production
Catherine.
value.
Yeah, production value. Let's go.
I gave it a 7 for production value. This was a lower budget film, one of his Kevin Smith's like earlier films. So this really isn't known for any like super great editing or cinematography or special effects, and some of the CGI just didn't age well,
All
as
of it.
we've discussed. But I like the film for its comedy and its writing. That's what it's really known for. I think at one point while I was watching this, my fiance was like, "This, like some of the scenes, the way it's cut, it feels like a corporate training video." Is what he said as we were watching it. To be fair, he watched a lot of corporate training videos that day. Spirit and emotional intent, though, they hit that one right on the nose. I gave that a 9. This film is really smart. It's poking fun at a lot of different religions and faiths and questioning things, and it ruffles a lot of feathers, and I find that wildly entertaining.
Indeed.
And
Absolutely.
it's very witty. So I just think they hit it exactly with what they're wanting to do with that. And I gave a rewatch of 8. I definitely want to check this out again in a better quality, not DVD. Maybe even go to the theater to see this. That might be it might be something really fun to see, just like other fans coming out and seeing this film. So definitely want to watch it again. And
I don't know if
overall,
I'd
I
be in
gave
the
it an
same
8.
room with fans of this show, but
You just need to be introduced to more Kevin Smith films.
Future Nick, cut that out.
no, fight me in the comments. You can do that below.
You're always
antagonizing
welcome to
people.
just rip Steven a new one in our comments.
I'm very vulnerable. Don't comment below. That would hurt my feelings.
You watch us do it here, why don't you do it down there?
Do you suffer from comment blindness? If so, click the link down below.
I'm just blocking out the hater.
Yeah, there you go. Comment's a comment. Overall, 8. I enjoyed this film. I love the writing and the characters. Yeah, I just liked it. It was just a plain fun film. So 39 out of 50, sitting at a 78%.
Nice.
Nick, did you notice all of the comic book guys are in this movie?
Yes. Yeah, they're part of the protesters outside of the
Abortion
clinic. Jeez, I'm like, what the hell is it called? Yes, and then what's his name? He was in the strip club.
Ming's in.
Yes,
yep.
he was in the. Which there was, if you watch it real close, they're just before they cut one of the scenes, like they're showing them, and somebody walks up, and Jay and Silent Bob and Ming are sitting there, and just before they cut away, Ming's eyes dart to the camera and like right down the barrel, and you're like, come on.
That is definitely something Ming would do.
2 frames, maybe. Yeah. Whoops.
There was a show called Comic Book Men on A&E. Is that right?
AMC.
AMC. And Kevin Smith owns a comic book shop in Red Bank, New Jersey. And Walter. Yeah. And then they had a film crew at the store, and Walter is the manager.
Flanagan.
Brian Johnson. Johnson and then Ming Chang, they all work there. And then they'd talk about, people would come in and trade stuff or look at stuff, or they'd have things. And it went for a couple of seasons. It was kind of fun to see. Sometimes Kevin would come in, but it was really to see what kind of toys and stuff people would bring in and try to get money for, or what they were looking for. But
kind of like
after
a Pawn
seeing
Stars.
Yeah. Kind of like a Pawn Stars for comic book shops in New Jersey. Also, like Kevin Smith broke out, and he has a movie theater now too out there. So like he's very much the local New Jersey businessman.
Gotta get that bag.
After kind of going through and seeing them in that show, you see those guys in Kevin's film. Like some of those guys were in Clerks and Mallrats, and obviously here we are in Dogma, and it's kind of fun to find those Easter eggs.
Yeah,
that's all.
Like even the news reporter was Brian O'Halloran, who was one of
Mr.
the main
Hicks.
characters in Clerks. Yeah. So.
And he even had the same name. Like Dante Hicks is the main character in Clerks, and this was like something else Hicks. I forget what his name was in this one. Yeah, wait for him to come back. You can find the Hicks brother in the
Grant Hicks.
Grant Hicks. There you go.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. He's not credited on IMDb as that. Weird. He just was credited as a reporter.
Yeah. So, but obviously he comes back as Dante in Clerks 2 and 3. But I think in the other movies he was a different Hicks. So like Mallrats, I think he was in Mallrats also.
Mallrats. Oh, Gil.
Yeah,
He
Gil
played
Hicks. Yep.
That was Movie Talk without Steven.
Movies talk without Steven. It goes quick when there's no questions.
It's gonna
And
be a
when you're not
5-minute
listening.
podcast.
I know, it can be really quick.
All right,
Who wants to go
Steven,
next?
I'm on
Steven,
board.
you want me to go, or do you want to go?
Yeah, go Nick.
What's the flavor? Yeah, go Nick. I'll round out.
Okay. All right, so my nostalgia for this movie is a 9. It came out at that perfect time for me. I had been introduced to Clerks and Mallrats. I had watched both of those many times over, and then Chasing Amy, and then this one landed all in that perfect time for me. I was just coming out of high school, going into college, and going into photography, but then changing my major to film. And so Kevin Smith was somebody that he wasn't making movies that were accessible to someone who is just in film school. That I can write a script and go out and film my friends, and which I did, and we watch it every now and again and have a laugh at it because it's rough. It's real rough.
Heart, I love that.
But it was, he didn't. Obviously, he had money eventually behind this movie, but he started off with his credit card, making his dream happen. And so that was that perfect, for me, especially with this movie as well. I loved all the characters, and the comedians and the actors in this movie. Jay and Bob are my spirit animal, kind of. Like I oddly identify with Silent Bob.
Them?
Well, Chris Farley.
You go into that.
Yeah,
Well,
can we unpack that a little bit?
So Cam had said that David Spade and Chris Farley were his spirit animal. Chris Farley was also mine, but then Jay and Silent Bob, we have a friend who is much slighter of frame than I, and we were essentially attached at the hip for a very long time. And he is the J to my Silent Bob, even though this Silent Bob isn't so silent all the time.
I was waiting for them to adopt a child, but sadly that never happened.
Hey, it's never too late. I'm sure there's children that are up for adoption right now.
Maybe.
So yeah, like this was that like transitioning kind of one of those transitioning movies into the next section of my life, the next major milestone, moving into some sort of I want to make film, and this movie was accessible to me, as was his other pictures. And so I gravitated to this movie. So I gave this a 9 if I did not say that already.
You did.
Okay. Production value, I give it a 7.5. I did knock off. I'm knocking off just because it's a Kevin Smith movie, but I'm not knocking it in a bad way, or saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that because he sets the camera up and lets the actors deliver his script, and there's not a lot of action camera movements. It's let the actors do their thing. I wrote a banger script, let them do it. And so we do have those things like the wings and the flying and the shit demon that's like, okay, those are rough, but I mean, hey, we had $10 million to try to figure out how to do these things.
Sure.
And I'm assuming some more of that money went to some of the bigger name stars at that time, but the 7.5 is all pretty much onto his script. And you know, and the actors that are performing it, which are absolutely fantastic. I gave The Spirit an 8 for this one. This movie, it took me a minute to figure out what I wanted for a Spirit score. But this movie had me questioning my own faith. You know, grew up going to church almost, you know, every Sunday, and going to CCD, and just kind of what I grew up in. And we did that. And in 1994, my mom was like, you don't have to go if you don't want to. And I was like, see you later. Not doing that anymore. And I don't want to say I didn't know where I belonged or anything. Like, I wasn't really questioning it. I just didn't have to do that thing anymore. And this movie was like, hey, here's some things to think about. And I went, oh, okay. Like, it was this movie, and I was listening to an interview with Kevin Smith. This was a movie that was deeply an expression of his faith at the time. And he's only 9 years out from me. So I feel that he's in a, you know, he's close enough
same
in
generation
that I can yes. Yes. And so that, you know, somebody that I looked up to, that I saw myself in to some extent, you know, I looked at this movie and said, okay, like, I should start looking at and questioning and just taking what I know from what I grew up with Catholicism, and how do I use that moving forward. And not that I'm, you know, I don't really have, more of a science man than a faith man, but hey, if faith is your thing, and whatever, if it's Christianity or whatever, that's awesome. If it helps you get through life, rock and roll. This movie also is the scope of this movie is small. It's grand in the ideas of what they're putting out there, so you're filling in those extra pieces. This also falls in line of why I like the show Supernatural so much, is that they're like, hey, that's a demon, and that's an angel, but we're not necessarily going to show those things, but the idea's out there. You fill in the block. You fill in those pieces. And that's what this movie, we fill in those extra gaps by telling us those things. And, you know, that's why I love this movie so much. My rewatchability is a 10. That's all I got. I will watch this movie every time it's on. Have watched it every time it's on. Like, no questions asked. My overall thoughts are an 8. I want more of this movie. I want more of this story. You know, we got 2 hours of it. I want to play more in this world. Obviously, it ended it at a certain time, but we may be getting some sort of continuation of this. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad, but we might be playing in this world again. I want more Jay and Bob. I love Jay and Bob and their shenanigans. They are kind of the Cheech and Chong of our generation, even though we did watch a lot of Cheech and Chong.
They were a comedy duo for sure.
Yeah, and so like anytime they popped up, I was like, oh, there's actually a movie that Kevin Smith is producing called something Records. But they pop up in it. They're in that movie as well. So that'll be fun.
They had their own cartoon. They're even in Call of Duty.
They're even in Call of Duty right now.
Yep.
Timely.
So this movie, if I didn't already have a love for Kevin Smith as a writer director, this movie kind of affirmed that you know, the micro budget movies up until now a bigger studio movie really set that and said, I like this guy. This person is somebody that I'm going to follow. And I listened to his podcasts. I've watched his TV shows. I've watched all the movies that he's done. And
I've watched some questionable movies that he's done.
Yeah. Oh, that was the one I wrote down. Yoga hosers, I'm looking in your direction.
Vulgar, not looking in your direction.
Oh,
although
right.
I think you were a writer on that. Right?
Or a producer. Yeah.
Producer. It was like I was very much, you know, hooked on whatever Kevin Smith was dealing, whether it was good, bad, or ugly.
And even like Jersey Girl,
Walrus
I know
movie.
Tusk was a time, but I listened to that podcast, so it was fun going from the podcast into the movie and seeing what he did with it. And Jersey Girl, I like Jersey Girl. It's a sweet movie. Like I know like people
Jersey Girl. It's a good one.
Yeah, like people hate it, and that's fine. But it's I kind of identify with it to some extent. Like my nephew was born, so my life was changing at that time, and that's what he was raising a daughter in that movie. So like,
I heard of Sweeney Todd because of Jersey Girl.
That too. Yeah. The whole Sweeney Todd part of it. Yeah. So, you know, Kevin Smith was inspired by Richard Linklater, and I was inspired by Kevin Smith. Whether I do anything great or even remotely to either of their levels to be determined. That
You've touched my heart for a lifetime.
That is a 42.5, so an 85% for me.
Ooh, all right.
Nice.
Steven's going to destroy that.
Excellent. My time.
Get him.
To fuck shit up. Nostalgia bias. Get over here. Would ruin your day. Okay. Actually, I'm not outside of the realm, so we're in good terms. Nostalgia. It's. I gave it my normal 6 because I haven't seen it. Don't really have any tie-ins to any of this. Period piece for the 90s, which is great. I'm glad Cam opened the door for that argument. So we're good on the score.
Well done, Cam. Well done.
Excellent.
Hello. Delivery for period piece.
Oh, he's got a period piece just for me.
I got a sign for this period piece here.
I added 1 point for Catholicism. That's what I was also raised in, and I know this True Blue. So 7 out of 10 on that. Production value, I give it a 7. I think that's the lowest of the batch by 0.5 because I don't do 0.5s. I'm not a coward.
No, stick to your guns on that one.
Yeah. No. 7. Lots of practical effects. I thought they were great. The CGI was kind of dog doo-doo. I think there was a little bit of framing or like just something about how the film was written or produced. I was not a fan of making I dropped her name. The main character from the
Linda Fiorentino.
Yeah, Linda. I don't think she's it's not the main character for me. I think this should have been just like a straight up Jay and Silent Bob film.
There's a couple moments in the movie where I was like, ooh, that's not I didn't really care for it, where I may have overlooked it when I was younger. But yeah, I will happily, we can watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and watch them do their thing.
Yes.
That's always fun.
It's fun.
well, and that's what I'm saying. Like maybe
for the whole family.
I think this film suffers from like you could have just taken them and like, oh, we have a foil opportunity. Like they're going through a journey and she's going through a journey, but like let's introduce them at the beginning and have them like be approached by Alan Rickman.
Metatron.
Yes.
Metatron.
And say like,
I
hey,
am the
this is your
Metatron.
duty to pick, like, she is having a crisis of faith. You can go in and like provide like, oh man, we can't do that. Like, I'm just trying to fucking bang her. And like, I think it's a better story. I think it's a better story. That's just my like 2 cents. Rewrite McGee over here. So I gave
do
it.
appreciate, before you go any further, I do appreciate the stupidity of that he's trying to have sex with her and she doesn't, and she goes, only if the end of the world happens.
Yep.
And then
Let's
2
have
hours
it now.
later, he's ripping his
Let's
pants
go.
off.
You said.
He
Said.
said,
You
He's
told
not
me.
wrong.
He's not wrong.
Now's the time. Let's do it.
So I gave it a 7. Spirit and Intent, an 8 out of 10, because this is very much Kevin's like, I'm gonna like put my crises of faith out there for the public, and this is how I'm going to deal with it, with comedy and trying to make a film. This is my art form, that kind of thing. I think it does a really good job of like criticizing Catholicism. Great time to watch this film with like the like, how is the new pope going to rebrand the faith and all that stuff.
Yep.
Like,
That was pretty good timing.
great timing to watch this film. It makes for cinema. I will say, like, Dogma 2, maybe, I don't know, could be. So I think like what the intent is really works. I only chalked down a couple points because like maybe a little bit too personal to what his takeaway is. I love where it does actually criticize it. I think when we're doing a little bit of like God is a woman and Rufus and stuff like that, I think there was more to play with there, which would have been a little bit better if it was like executed a little more mainstream. To me, where those two like questions of faith, it's like, oh yeah, no, it was always written that God was like ambiguous or a woman. Over like, it's kind of like a club over the head rather than exploring that and having us as the viewer kind of like go through like, oh, why not? Why couldn't that be the truth? Why couldn't that be the thing? It was just like you're told rather than informed. That's kind of a me thing. I love like deep diving into faith and religion and kind of questioning it within a historical context, and I think
well, you don't think that they played with that enough, where they,
No.
you know, some people are saying that he's a he, and other people are calling her she, and no one kind of knows until we get the reveal at the end. No.
Well, it didn't kind of matter because you were clubbed over the head, like, and it goes into like a lot of the deliveries. I think that should have been more throughout the film than rather building it around like these character moments. That's like, I like, oh, I'm the apostle that was never written about, like,
Rufus.
but also like a third comic relief into this whole thing because Kevin wrote in a character. I don't know. It didn't. I didn't like it. I think it could have been done better, and it would have made a better impact if it wasn't treated with like this comedic thing. Like, I think Rufus and Selma's character
Serendipity.
were treated so differently, but within the same amount of humor, that both of them like flustered. I think one of the funniest, like, explain to me comic relief within a comedy film, because there's a lot of comedic relief happening
To
There's
break
a lo-
tension.
What tension? It's a comedy.
Well, I mean, like, there's still a struggle. Like there still has to be a story to be told. There's something for them to do or to overcome in this whole piece. So they're at the point that Chris Rock literally drops from the sky is like they're on the road
After talking
trying
about
to
the
get
comic
there.
relief characters trying to bang her the entire time, like it to me, it's just like too much comic relief when there wasn't enough tension to justify it.
Or even the train scene where you the audience know what's happening. The characters don't know that they're meeting on the train. And then we get to no
Rufus.
ticket, which you don't like when
yeah.
Kevin
Yeah,
throws
that's
them both
another-
out, or Silent Bob
There's no
throws them
ticket.
out. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
the
another
first line
100%.
delivery.
Yes.
Do you know what that's a reference to?
No, but it doesn't matter. It was funny within
Okay.
context because that's the first time he speaks. It's great.
Yes. And it shows how much Kevin Smith really likes Indiana Jones. Because in The Last Crusade, spoiler, Indiana Jones throws someone out of a Zeppelin. And everyone is gasping and looks at him. And he's looks startled and turns around and he says, "No ticket." And then everyone throws out their ticket real quick to give it to him. So anyways, that's the throwback there. But yeah, like Chris Rock comes into that moment as comic relief too, because like he's identifying what's going on. I mean, that's really why he comes into the stories, to help clue these people into like serendipity. And
Selma
obviously the
is
angels.
also like comic relief from like objectifying women, kind of like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't, like, why do you need so much comic relief when there's not enough tension? Because it's a comedy.
I would say to keep it moving and witty, and it was just more people to do that. Did you want more scenes of Jay trying to, get laid?
No,
Or-
but it's all the same thing. Like, she's literally a stripper. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
But I mean, like it was also funny because
I'm only
That whole
knocking
thing's-
2 points off for this whole
No,
thing.
no,
I
no.
can take more.
all right. I'll stop while I'm at here.
So I'm spirit and emotional intent 8. I think that's still high. Now I'm questioning everything. Rewatchability.
You should.
Rewatchability is 7. Like, it was a funny film. Like, I enjoyed it. I love like poking at like rebranding the Catholic faith is the funniest thing, because like literally we're experiencing it now. They're like, oh, we did it with the last pope, that he's more like, about it. Now we're kind of like getting more about it, and I'm like, I'm not even going to dive into
we're
that.
more about
but,
it.
yeah. You can interpret that
Now's
how
the
you
time.
want. Yeah. So 7 out of 10. Overall, 8 out of 10. I think it's a good film. The budget is insane. They did a lot with a little. Kevin Smith knows what he's doing. He is telling the story that he wants to tell, having a little bit of fun with it. All good. All Hollywood, baby. Putting it at 37 out of 50 at 74%.
Nice. All right.
Very nice.
All right.
Fun for the whole family. See? Thumbs up.
It was a good outing
think-
on the first Kevin Smith film, I think.
Yeah, like I think if you had kind of came to all of it like we had
Some view
that-
context.
Yeah, like I think those things would have potentially landed better, or whatever. Maybe you wouldn't have had some of the I mean, some of the criticisms are valid. They are what they are. But like,
Are you validating
that
me?
is an yes. I
Don't you dare criticize your favorite period piece that I grew up in.
I'll tell you about the 90s. I was a child, so I know better than you.
These are all the things that I like, but only the parts that I like to pick out. I get it. You got to take the 90s as it is.
All right, Steven, you want to round us out with some plugs so we can get out of here and let these fine folks have their ears and
Plug me
visions
up.
back?
Speaking of fine folks, you can check out all of us on our separate channels. You have the grand and glorious Nick over at Fire Hazard 508 Creations, where he's making playthings into display things, changing up the order here. But you can order great things over at Disneyland World, wherever where Catherine's at, in Spectacle Views. I'm sure there's great things.
She goes to Universal, but she was primarily Disney.
Very Disney. Very Disney.
We're going to Epic this weekend, so we're having more
right.
Epic content. More, yeah.
More.
Put the money where her mouth is.
More.
And you want to be there, so you ring the bell, you like and subscribe, and go over to Spectacle Views because you need to know everything that is epic over there. And then you can check out Cam over at Never Touching Grass, because obviously none of us ever do that. And we're doing all of the Call of Duty content, specifically zombies and all things. Big gamer energy over at Never Touching Grass, and gamer energy also kind of trickles down over to my channel at Funky Games. We're playing through all the quintessential video games, and make sure you check us all out and like and subscribe here at Gen Wars, where we're talking about movies and all things that I don't know anything about because I'm ignorant to everything. Yeah, clearly.
And make sure you go follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at Gen Wars Podcasts on both of those, so you can listen on the go. And
I was half hoping you were going to say Apple Pie.
Wait, you just don't put your phone up at the window when you're driving and watch us on YouTube?
What? Yes. Causing accidents all over the place.
He said what? He's never seen Aliens?
He still hasn't.
I've seen Alien versus Predator.
Why does
What's
this
the
kid keep
difference?
thinking everything's a period piece?
Because it is. It's made at the time. There was a 10-car pileup.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to go over some of these new sections that we might start doing. Dad at the Movies, Questions with Steven, and Education with Steven. So
I like that. I like that.
It's been fun. Get out and go see Dogma in the theaters and pick up your Blu-rays and steelbooks and all this stuff.
VHS.
So
VHS. Kevin, please. VHS.
VHS.
Superior format.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.